What is going on, guys? Gavin here, and today I want to bring you a Sunseed, Sunvine, Sun Avalon deck profile. Yes, this archetype made its debut in the Ghost from the Past, and honestly never saw any play because it was pretty much unplayable out of the box, and it has been getting support. It got a bunch of support in Lightning Overdrive, and now in Burst of Destiny, it's getting arguably one of the best support cards that an archetype could ever get in Sunvine Sewing, which is absolutely an amazing card. But is it enough to save the deck? Actually, I tested it a ton and I don't think so. Honestly, this deck really suffers from a lot of things, and it has to have a lot more support, at least like 3 more cards, and I'll get to that at the end of the video, like to make this deck viable. And they all need to do certain things because this deck has some major weaknesses. But regardless, its combo is really cool if you can manage to pull it off. And as you can see, I play the triple cross out and the Psy-Frame Gamma in the deck to give us a little bit better of a chance of getting that combo off. But yeah, it's pretty rough out here for this deck. So anyways, let's go ahead and get right into the profile. Okay, to start for the deck profile, we are on triple copies of Genus Loci, easily the bread and butter main playmaker of the deck. Even though it is a vanilla monster, basically what you do is you make the Sun Avalon Dryas with this card, and basically that allows you to search a Sunvine spell or trap. Fun fact, there are no Sunvine traps, so yeah, this card will search you a Sunvine spell, and we have some good ones in the deck with Sowing and Shrine. So basically this card will allow you access to those. This is not once per turn, by the way, and you do have to make it into the extra monster zone to get the effect, so just keep that in mind. Triple copies of Rescue Rabbit to get to Genus Loci, triple copies of Lone Fire Blossom to get to Genus Loci, triple copies of Unexpected Die to get to Genus Loci, 1 copy of 1 for 1 to get to Genus Loci, and triple copies of Sunvine Sowing. So Sowing, actually, it will summon out. Actually, it won't summon out the Genus Loci most of the time, because how you want to use this card is not to start your combo, because it's best used to actually get the to actually proc the Sun Avalon Dryas as well. So what you normally do is you want to go into Sun Avalon Dryas and then use this card. Usually you actually want to search this card off of the Sun Avalon Dryas so that you can actually take the 1000 damage, proc the effect of Dryas, and then summon the healer to the zone underneath the Dryas, which is really good. But yeah, this card is really amazing because it's like a perfect extender for keeping your plays going. 2 copies of Sunseed Twin because it summons out a Genus Loci from your graveyard, and it's really good target off of Sunvine Sowing. 2 copies of Shadow because it's like an extender. It's really good in the graveyard as well. 1 copy of Rose Lover to kind of deep brick your hand if you draw the Mardell, because Mardell's like a combo piece that kind of needs to stay in your deck. But if it ends up in your hand, I guess there's a way that you can actually summon out the Rose Lover and actually get this card out of your hand. 1 copy of a Romage Laurel because it's an extender, and we do have a turn 1 combo of being able to get our life points higher than our opponents, which is really good because then we can just summon out the Laurel. 2 copies of Shrine, so basically this card resurrects the Genus Loci, kind of allows you to extend from there. It does have a discard cost, which is kind of unnecessary in my opinion, but I guess it can technically set up your graveyard in some cases. 1 copy of Crossbreed, so that you can tribute off a link monster and then summon a plant monster from your graveyard and negate its effects. So it can allow you to get back the Genus Loci, because what can happen is sometimes you might have like a Sunseed Shadow in your hand, or like one of these other plant monsters, and what you can actually do is you can link into Dryas and you won't get the effect, but then you can go into Crossbreed, tribute it off, summon out a Genus Loci, and then actually make it the right way, and then you get your search off that way. So that's something that you can do if your hand kind of allows for it. 1 copy of Sun Avalon Bloom. So basically this card is really good because it gives your link monsters like additional attack, but also it's like a skill drain for the monsters that your opponent currently has on the field when you activate this card. So it's pretty dead most of the time. Like, there's no reason to play more than one of this card, because it's not like something that is actually good to draw if your combo gets interrupted, because you actually do need a link 4 to get the most out of this card. So yeah, if your combo gets erupted, there's no way you're making the link 4, so it's just fine at 1, in my opinion. 1 copy of Monster Reborn in case you get disrupted and need to summon back a Genius Loci. And then, of course, for the hand traps, we are playing a bunch of them. So we have 1 copy of Nibiru, 2 copies of Ash, 2 copies of Valor, 2 copies of Imperm, 3 copies of Gamma, 1 copy of Driver, 1 copy of Called by the Grave, and triple copies of Crossout Designator. So it's really important for our combos to go through, which is why we are playing all these hand traps and the Crossout Designator. I would love to play Bell. I don't know if I have the space for it, to be honest. Maybe you could cut a Rescue Rabbit and something else and put a Bell in, but yeah, Crossout Designator's like, it's not even that good in this deck, but you really just want your combo to go through. It's really bad going second, but you know, going second you have to have other power cards in here because this deck really doesn't do a good job of playing into established boards. So yeah, hopefully our hand traps can kind of stop our opponent from making an established board, or else it's going to be very difficult for us to play. And then for the extra deck, we are on triple copies of Dryas. This card's really good and really just abusable in this deck. It's very easy to make it in the extra monster zone over and over again. 1 copy of Healer to kind of help us get our life points higher than our opponents on turn 1 so that we can actually kind of abuse the Aromage stuff. Double copies of Thrasher just because it's just a really good beater. 1 copy of Dry Days, so this card really doesn't do a whole lot, but it's something to go into if you get disrupted. It's really bad, but I didn't know what else to put into the extra deck. 2 copies of Daphne. This card's really good because you just make it into the middle zone and it gives you... Its arrows are actually really good for being in the middle zone, and yeah, you can actually use the Sunseed Shadow to target this card to actually get another copy of it onto the field, so you get like 2 more link material, which is really good. Aromatherapy Jasmine is really good. It's like kind of an extender. You contribute a monster that this monster points to and special summon a plant monster from your deck, so it's like a key piece in the Mardrell combo. Really good. 2 copies of Sunvine or Sun Avalon Melius. So this card has really good arrows because it basically you make it underneath the extra monster zone and it points up so that you can actually extra link your opponent really easily with this card. But also upon making it, you can special summon a Sunseed Genius Loci from your graveyard, which is really important because it points up to the extra monster zone and it summons the Sunseed Genius Loci. So actually you can just go ahead and link into a Dryas into the EMZ. So this card's really free, really good. 1 copy of Sun Avalon Link 4. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name. So yeah, this card is good because it searches the trap and it pops stuff on your opponent's field, which is good as well. And then 1 copy of Bengal Lancer. This card's really interesting. It has really cool art, and I was really excited for this card in Dawn of Majesty or Lightning Overdrive, and I pulled one. And then I looked up how much it was, and I was really disappointed. This card is like one of those penny stock secret rares that is just garbage. But in this deck it's good. But yeah, this deck has no really place in the competitive metagame. So yeah, and then 1 copy of Psyframe Lord Omega. This card is just basically you make it if you get hand trapped and have the Gamma in your hand, and you can activate Gamma. So other than that, it's not doing anything else. So yeah, that's really it for the main and extra deck. Let's go ahead into the side. So basically the side is just not really going to explain anything here. It's just kind of blowout cards because and mostly going second cards because first of all, this deck has absolutely like 0 chance of playing through like set 4 and pass or set 5 and pass. Like it's just not happening. Like even any of those disruptions can just screw you over too hard, and Crossout isn't even going to save you. So you really need some ways to counteract back row decks, and then heavy combo decks that play through your hand traps. Those are going to be hard to play through too because they'll easily put up some negates and disruptions. So yeah, and then Pancratops obviously is just should be in every side deck really, in my opinion. Now this card is so good, it's way too good. It should be banned in my opinion. So what does this deck actually need to be competitive? Well, first of all, Sunseed Genius Loci, well, it's, you know, it can get your combo started. It's very vulnerable because it is a normal monster. It's like has no protection, and if it gets removed from the field before you can link summon into the Dryas, you're kind of in trouble. Obviously we maxed out on the Unexpected Die, or in the 1-for-1, so that we actually can try and get to this card without committing our normal summon. But once we have normal summoned and this card gets removed, like for example when Destroy Phoenix comes out and they just pop this card like on sight, you're gonna be in trouble unless you have an extender. But this deck really lacks those, unfortunately. It would be nice if there was a card that could special summon itself from your hand and be treated as Sunseed Genius Loci, so that you could actually make Dryas without, and get the search off, because you do need to make this card with the Genius Loci, so that's a big weakness of this deck. Another thing is recursion. So I was on Painful Decision, and Painful Decision's good because it searches the Genius Loci and it gets one in your graveyard, but after you go through all of the Genius Locais in your deck, all your sowings become all of them become dead, excuse me, and then it can be really hard to actually get access to your shrine, because you need to have a Sun Avalon Link monster on the field to even activate this card. So like you can't even, if you don't have a way to get to a Sun Avalon Link monster, like you can't even activate this card to resurrect your Genius Loci, which is the way you actually want to get to your Sun Avalon Link monster. So that's a really big flaw in this deck as well. So yeah, having a way to shuffle back the Genius Loci into your deck would be really good. And as a matter of fact, shuffling back all of these Link monsters into your extra deck would be really good too. So yeah, those the deck lacks something like that, and in longer games you're gonna struggle to even have gas to continue, which sucks. And then lastly, I just want to say that I think the deck could use another Sunvine trap card or Sun Avalon trap card that's actually more versatile and usable than Sun Avalon Bloom. Yeah, I mean, this card is only usable if you have the Link 4, and it's very difficult to even get to the Link 4. So yeah, we need more trap cards, or like a quick play spell card, or something that's disruptive for our opponent. But yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate you. Make sure that if you like the video, you leave a like. Tell me what you think in the comments, and with that, I will leave you with the peace out. Have a nice day. Goodbye.